And I think we all ought to live under whatever insurance policy is forced.
You're building yourselves. You gave yourself that Congress.
Everybody, they give themselves raises, they
Right.
give themselves, you know,
I
I
can't give
can't, in
It's
all due
run by the
respect,
private
in all due
sector.
respect, I think that
Scared of
you're
the private sector.
I truly believe that you're a wonderful guy, and I truly believe
But
that
I'm
you're
trying
doing
to
the right
understand
thing.
what would be the first step that you would take.
I'm not in your position,
No,
sir.
no.
I couldn't tell
You're
you
a
that.
constituent. I pay very close attention.
But I can tell you that I'm truly upset, and it doesn't matter what.
Does your
party-
employer provide health
I
insurance?
have health insurance, 80% it's covered, so I have to cover the rest of it. And that's not the point. The point is we can't afford any of this. You know, we can't afford any of this, whether it be this ridiculous sci-fi plan here.
Right.
Or
Or this one.
Or this one here. We just can't afford any of it, you know? I
Okay.
feel like I've just stepped into a futuristic sci-fi movie with some of this stuff.
So you would be against passing these plans?
I think that you all need to go back to the table and you need to look at both sides, Republican
Absolutely.
and Democrats alike, and work together as human beings. Parties to do the best job for the American.
Absolutely.
Because everybody's forgotten who the American people are.
Back on this back wall strap shirt.
Sort of follow up with her point, people's affordability and taxes. It seems to me we're at a point where when you raise more taxes and you take more money out of our pockets, we have less money to spend in the economy. And it slows everything down. It's just like when the price of gas went up, the economy tanked because people didn't have money to spend in the stores or the restaurants and all the others. So it just went down. Has there been any kind of study or done by Congress or anything where once they get over, you're talking about raising more taxes to fund some of this, where it's actually a negative
I'm not
return?
talking about raising anybody's taxes.
I know you're not. I'm talking about the whole general. You're saying part of it has to come, you know, 500 billion revenue, but has there been any study by anybody in Congress to say when you're on the backside of the power curve and where the government's actually making less revenue to fund all this stuff instead of just raising taxes all the time?
Yeah, Peter Orszag has said that the chief officer of the budget has told the president, we cannot afford to do this. We don't have the money. And if you do this, you're going to cripple the economy even further, and you're going to delay you're going to make the recession longer, and you're going to delay the recovery.
So go back and stop it.
Well, I get the most no 1 second. You flatter me with your thoughts that I have no ability to go back and stop it. I'm against it. Yes, ma'am.
The Democrats are in charge. They have all the votes. Why don't they pass it today? Why did they not pass it in August before the recess as they planned?
They have
the votes.
80 votes more than the Republicans in the House.
They're in the majority.
20
Why did
votes
they
more-
not pass it?
20 votes more in the Senate and the President. So pass the bill. Get on with it. Quit putting the country through this and then suffer the consequences at the ballot box.
The Republicans do not have the vote. So they don't have the votes to pass this bill.
Or stop it.
Or stop
Or make it go forward.
And they can't make it go forward. Elections have consequences. We, the United States, have voted a Democratic majority. They could pass this bill today. Ask them why they haven't passed it.
Yes, sir. Yes. That's a pretty simple mathematical equation.
Well, mine's not mathematical. What I want to know is, when are we going to stop giving the illegal aliens a free ride, and not deporting them, and taking care of our elderly in this country? they didn't put nothing in, they're taking everything out.
I think
Okay.
I agree. Yes, ma'am.
First of all, I want to thank you, Congressman, I just want to thank you for your history, for representing us, your constituents. I'd like for you to address three things. One is, I'd like for you to talk about passive euthanasia versus death penalties. We know there's no death penalties in any of the legislation that's been proposed. But would you address passive euthanasia and what that means? Would you also address making health plans portable across state lines to provide the competition that will bring down the cost of health care to these people who are talking about and making very valid points about the fact that health care plans are unaffordable to so many, but there are restrictions on competition right now that could be addressed through the portability.
I don't know if I could, let me start by answering that.
Okay, and may I just follow up with one other?
I just don't think I can remember. My heart valve is. My mic was off.
Everything about me wants to believe that there is absolutely nothing in this bill that would encourage any kind of death or euthanasia or anything. And I'm going to tell you something. I didn't get that when I read the bill. I hear that, I read it in the newspaper, I see it on TV, but there's just something part of myself that I want to believe that there's nothing like that in the bill. And it's going to take a lot to convince me that that's in the bill. Okay? I don't believe it's in there. I think there's parts of the bill that are too ambiguous and too loosely written that need to be tightened up so that can never be a question again. Insurance across state lines. Every state in America has a different set of laws that mandate what a basic health insurance plan contains. I spent 18 years in the legislature. Every year, and Jim, they're probably still doing it, but we add something very well-meaning, very good, check for colon cancer, check for breast cancer. They add something that every policy must contain. Every time they add something, the policy goes up in the cost. And the gentleman talked about constitutional rights. I believe very much in states' rights, and I don't think that the Constitution allows us to go in and mandate to states and override their laws. So while going across the borders would absolutely lower we may do it at the cost of states' rights, and at this point, I don't think we win that battle.